What's up, everyone? Welcome to Financial Dad. The goal of this show is simply just education and financial confidence. That's really all it is. Simple techniques to educate yourself financially. And I always say, if you talk to anyone that's a year ahead of you, they will say the same thing. I wish I would have started earlier, or I did start, and I'm glad I did. I said the ultimate goal is for me to help people take away the I wishes and replace them with I did, and then pass that knowledge right on down the line, whether it be to your kids or to people that you know. But in order for you to be able to do that, you have to allow yourself to win. You have to allow yourself to start the process. And so that's kind of what I talk about, which is, again, my goal. This will be a two-part episode, with this episode being about starting to invest in yourself. And what exactly does that look like? Simple techniques that will allow you to become confident and confident financially. And I think that's where a lot of people mess up, is that they overcomplicate it. Social media overcomplicates it. Your financial advisor overcomplicates it. They spit off terms that you don't even know. You couldn't even leave their office and then go, or hear it and then go tell somebody what you heard. It's like you think that just because you heard it from someone that you deem as a professional, that they have to be right, and that's just not the case. A large majority of what you can put your money in, or even getting started, you can just do yourself for free. And so we'll talk about that. Most of the time, it isn't that most people and parents don't want to do it. They just want to feel competent and confident, and then be able to move forward. For me, I love what I do. I'm pretty passionate about what I do. I love teaching people for free. Just simple techniques to help them gain momentum. And that's the game. You want to gain momentum and feel confidence. Isn't that what most people and parents want to feel, is just competent and confidence, and that way they can pass it down, right on down the line. For me, I love what I do. I love teaching people and seeing them gain momentum. I love seeing the confidence in their face whenever they're like when the light goes off and they're like, oh, I allowed myself to win. Here's what happened. Like I said, a light just goes off. Today, we're going to talk about 4 very simple tips that if you gave yourself 1 year, that's all I'm asking for. Just give yourself 1 year. 1 year of putting yourself first, it will change your life. And a lot of people, again, they overcomplicate this. And whenever you overcomplicate something and you convince yourself that it's too difficult, then you never get started. So these will be 4 tips. Before we get into the tips, you have to get out of your brain and all this 0 to 100 mess. So what I mean by that is that people that you read, not really read, it's really social media that convinces people that you can like put in $1 and get back 10 the next day. That's just not really that's not really factual. It is with some things, but those people are probably studied and you never see their failures. So again, this is for the long term. All the talk about being millionaires and everything around that, and how easy it is to make major money, it's just too much pressure. And more than likely, it's just someone trying to sell you something. Give yourself a break and start with these small steps. And this is for everybody, no matter the age. Now, some people have not made any mistakes. And if you haven't made any mistakes and this is the start of your journey, then cool. The same tips apply. But let's get into the people that are, have maybe got some history of have been in the work environment for a little while and are not like straight into their first job or straight out of college. So this is for you guys, parents, dads, moms, everybody. So tip 1, be real. I know you feel it. I know you feel it when you go to bed, when you wake up. You feel that you should be doing something, you're just not sure what. You see the future. You realize that maybe you're like, some people have passed away in your life. Maybe some people just kind of had a conversation with you and they're like, dang, I'm worried about the future. So you feel it, you're just not sure what to do. Tip 2, stop spending dumb money on crap you don't need. That is talked about incessantly today, whether it's Dave Ramsey or whomever is talking about the spending money And the only people that give you high fives and pats on the back about this crap that you have are broke-minded people. 100% of the time, it's the truth. Tip 3 is responsibilities. I'll wait and kind of get into that, but responsibilities. And tip 4, once you've kind of like self-acknowledged those 3 tips, now you're ready to kind of like mentally move forward in your financial journey. So side note, whenever I talk about being real with yourself, it's if you have made mistakes, own it. And if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, look in the mirror and say the words. You don't have to like run to everybody and like feel like guilty about the mistakes that you made. Just own them and move forward. Too many people want to revel in the past and just like be in misery. And that's just, you'll never be able to move forward with anything financial if you just keep penalizing yourself for the past. So making promises to yourself about what you will and won't do, don't do it. It just doesn't work. Investing in yourself is always a win. So you have to allow yourself the small wins. And what I mean by that is kind of like waking up in the morning and making your bed. That's a win. Brushing your teeth is a win. Just keep it simple, small wins. So whenever I talk to people about like small wins, and again, for the longest time, I didn't allow myself small wins. You're rushing around, you got a lot of responsibilities, but small wins add up. And so like, for example, let's say you're starting on some sort of health journey and you get, you need to walk for an hour a day. What happened to just 5 minutes? 5 minutes a day, start with that. What happened with just, cutting out this one thing or doing this one thing? And so, like, I've always been amazed at my wife. She makes the bed every single morning. And I'm like, God, you don't have to do that, but that's a small win for her. Once we started this journey some years ago, then I understood the concept of small wins. So, like, making your bed. So in the military, they have these small things that they do every single day. I've always been amazed at military people. They make their bed, they shine their shoes, they wake up early, they do simple things in the morning, because then it makes everything in your day way easier. And you want to come home and you want to not have to worry about those things being done. And so again, small wins are super important. And overcomplicating it or starting out with this concept of I want to go all in. I think there's like a 95% failure rate on that. So again, that's why small wins are important. Tip 2. So every day when you wake up, your phone, social media, it's Black Friday, it's Cyber Monday. Even the algorithm on your phone is showing you items to buy, invest in, how to get to a certain status. It's all lies. Absolutely everything that you watch on your phone, TV and media, politics, everything, every one of them are trying to get you to buy something or manipulate your way of thinking. Every single thing is pandering. And so you have to be really conscious of pandering. Everything is emotional. If you have kids, next thing you know is telling you that you have to do this. You have to invest in this. If you have a car or, your phone is listening is absolutely true. And what you look at there on your phone and on your computer, everybody's trying to sell you something. So you have to be conscious of that. You have to learn to say no. And not get emotional about everything. I can tell you with certainty, the majority of the things I have bought that I regretted, I did that to get a rise of other people. I did it to get pats on the back. I did it for a dopamine hit because I was not ready to focus on the main thing. So and what I mean by that is that if you have 5 things in your life that you really need to focus on, but you keep putting them on the back burner, I would fill my life full of things so I didn't have to focus on those things. And so, so you have to be really conscious of that and really focus on those by putting yourself first and saying no. Me learning how to say no to people and things gave me more happiness and confidence than I ever imagined. It gave me strength. And I think that will lead you down a path for being prepared. Tip number 3, the majority of the people that I coach and bring on as clients don't give 2 F's about the word millionaire. It is thrown around today like everybody can just jump out and be millionaires. My son thinks that everybody's got a Lambo. Everybody. And it's just not real life. And I think the shock of that is that you go through a certain period in your life where you think that everybody is wealthy, and it's just not true. Wealth is just a term that people use. And millionaire and all of this other, it takes a process. And unless the money is just given to you, which you then 100% of the time will not appreciate, then it is a process. And these tips are just easy processes or easy steps to help you with the process. It's almost equal to some huge mountain, the word millionaire. The word is again, thrown around today. It's equal to some huge mountain that they convince themselves is not possible. 100% of the people that I work with financially want this same exact thing, a simple path to freedom and peace. And so what I mean by that, and I use this terminology a lot, if you cut off social media and the news, and you take 20, let's say mom and dads, husband, wives, and you put them in a room together, no matter their race, no matter their backgrounds, no matter everything, and you ask them specific questions, the majority of them would answer the same exact way. Their concerns, their disappointments, their regrets, plus the positive things, the outlook. Not everything is negative. What they want out of their life, the majority of them would have these same wants and needs. And so once you kind of take away all of the outside influence, you realize that most people just want the same exact thing. And again, it's the outside things that kind of distract you from being able to have those things. And so for me, and for most people, the greatest obstacle isn't the want that's erasing, it is the want of things, it's erasing the past. It took my wife and I 3 years from the day we started for me to get 80% of the way through that part of it. And what I'm talking about is erasing the things that we had done, obstacles that we had self-placed. We sifted through every ounce of our life, and we purged everything that we felt was a financial or time parasite. This one hurt me the most. Most of it was ego and pride. And yes, pats on the back. We went through everything. We sold our boat that I had it named. I had our names on it. I had, it was called residual income because it was paying for other things we're paying for. It didn't cost me anything. And so, but we use it 3 times a year, and it did cost something. And so I sold a car that I had, a 1970 Chevelle that I had wanted since I was like forever. I sold it. It was just sitting there collecting dust in my garage. It was just something for me to look at. I sold another vehicle that I had that it was like just a pat on the back vehicle, and I loved it. But at the time, it was a financial leech. And what I mean by that is that I feel like that the company was using me as a guinea pig to figure out if it was a great car or not. And so we got rid of clothes, junk, attic mess, storage mess, apps, TVs, everything that we could get rid of that took time to really kind of take care of, we got rid of it. If it was collecting dust, we let it go. We went through every part of our life, and most of it wasn't even financial, but it was sucking the life out of us because it takes time and effort and yes, money to have it. Again, this is the hardest part of most people's journey. So many things that we have put on a pedestal that we think are so important that in the end we could care less about. And I could tell you someone else who could care less about it, and that's probably your kids. Your kids do not give 2 shits about you dying and then going into the attic and saying, this was somebody so-and-so from 1975. It's not a thing. So for me and for most people, culling out the bad is the last and the hardest step before you are finally ready to move forward and clear a path. Tip 4, once you have done the above and you sit back and you get used to not having the physical and mental clutter of just taking care of and paying for nonsense, now you're ready to move forward with the fun part. And fun is like it's probably a dumb way to put it. It's really not that fun. But once it gets to a certain point, it does take on a life on its own of its own. And what I mean by that is your financial journey. Life is way easier now. The path is clear, and you want it to be. You want your life to be as clear of obstacles as possible. This is when you can really start to invest in yourself, and that's what it is. You're taking the time to invest in your future and into yourself. But that'll be for the next episode. So again, the easiest path to walk on is the one that is clear. So again, be real with yourself, face the mistakes, and move forward. Purge yourself of all things that take time to own, pay for, take up space, or just collecting dust. Let it go. You don't need it. That storage unit full of crap, nobody wants it. It's been sitting there for 3 years, and you haven't used anything in it, and the idea that you are going to use it in the future, it's not going to happen. It never happens. Limit your responsibilities. Don't self-sabotage yourself and your progress with things that even people that you, and even people that you have to take care of. If you've got a friend, so I kind of like this, if you have so-called friends that are sucking the life out of you, then you have to get rid of them. Not talking, of course, I'm not talking about spouses and kids. I mean stuff you don't need. And yes, sometimes, again, that means people. Put more people in your life that tell you the truth. So that's why I'm a firm believer of groups. And groups are just 2 or more people that can hold you accountable. People that you can be real with and that can be real with you. You do not need a bunch of people telling you that you're the best thing, and that when you don't reach that goal, if you set a goal for yourself and you don't have people that can help you along with that path and like give you hell for not reaching that goal, then you got the wrong people in your life. You'll never get where you want to be. It will never be perfect, but once the above tips are in check, now you are ready. If you are lucky enough to not have any of the above obstacles in your life, then the next episode is your starting point. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any questions and need some simple solutions, drop a comment. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in for part 2, step 1 to financial peace and freedom. Appreciate it.